All right.
Hey guys, sorry about that. My
try-
computer just crashed, so sorry about that. It must have been the virtual background. So now you get to see the green screen behind us
Yes.
that we
So
worked really hard
imagine
on.
the beautiful.
Yes. Sorry guys.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
you know,
we were feeling really
technology-
confident. We're like, man, look how great we're doing here. So
Yeah, it's all good.
anyway, well, apparently the enemy doesn't want you to hear the good stuff we're going to share with
Yeah.
you tonight. So we're going to share it anyway with this beautiful green backdrop.
Yes.
So
We're
you-
just you pretend like you just saw the virtual background again. 'Cause it's fine.
So, if you're just jumping on, grateful believer in Jesus Christ, struggle with drugs and alcohol and food issues. My name is Rodney.
Grateful believer in Jesus, and hi Rodney, and I struggle with relationship addiction, isolation, and control, which I have no control over what's happening right
we are
now.
not
And my
rattled.
name is Carol.
We are
It's
not
going to be
rattled
great.
in the slightest.
It's gonna
so
be great.
we are cool, calm, and collective. So we were just talking about the summit. We've got some cool virtual backdrops that we were going to show you tonight. That's why you see the green screen behind us. This is not a sauna with a green wall, as some of you have commented on some other backdrops. No, it's just wallpaper. So we try to be fun and creative, and that's what we get because we're not real creative.
We are. It just my computer decided to crash.
Yeah,
so
that was
it's
weird.
all
That's
good.
never done that before.
No, it hasn't. So there you go.
So you guys have been asking about the summit and what is this that we're going to be getting, and so we want to tell you about some exciting topics that we believe are going to be for everyone and all people. If it's your first 3 minutes on Celebrate Recovery Facebook Live, then this summit is for you.
Yep.
If you've been a leader for 25, 30 years, as long as Celebrate Recovery has been around, this summit is for you. So we want to kind of give you a little bit of a quick rundown of what things are going to be covered at the summit. So let's kind of get some jump into those topics if we can a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you want to?
Yeah, let's hit those first. So you guys know about the skit guys.
Right.
If comedy, laughter is so good.
Such good medicine.
For our soul, right? I mean, I can't think of a better time, a more appropriate time in our life that we just need to laugh. And so the skit guys, if you've never seen the skit guys, they will make you laugh and you will walk away just feeling better about yourself. So the skit guys will be there.
Yep.
And then we've got Hosanna Wong,
Yep.
who does some amazing spoken word.
Oh yeah.
She always writes some new material and it's always a wonderful inspiration.
Yeah.
So Hosanna, if you've never seen her.
Yeah, I remember the first time. Honest, she was talking about this on the Facebook Live the other night that she was doing with Johnny, and she was just talking about that very first time that she was there. And I remember actually being in the worship center, our daughter and I, ahead of time because we were doing some tech stuff, and hearing her for the first time, and she began to speak, and we both just sat down where we were and just cried because it was so amazing. So yeah,
Yes, like who is
totally
this
worth it.
woman?
It's so great.
She is blessing our socks
And the skit
off.
guys make me cry too, but just in a different way because I laugh really hard at them.
Yeah, so they're both going to bless your socks
That's
off.
right.
So we do recommend that you wear socks for the summit.
There
Because
you go.
if you don't, then you may need a first aid kit. I'm just saying. So put the socks on, you'll bless your socks off. Anyway, we're going to try to catch questions. I don't know if you got your phone there.
No.
We'll try to catch some questions as we go along here. We got some great folks here, but let's kind of jump in here. Oh, so I mentioned skit guys, Hosanna. I'm a little bit frazzled still from our
all right.
computer crashing.
John
Dr.
Townsend?
John Townsend is going to be in the house. You guys probably know him from Boundaries with Henry Cloud, and so Dr. John Townsend is going to be at the summit this year. Always brings a very insightful and inspirational talk. I can't think of these things are going to just be just honey for our soul, right?
Yeah.
Our heart that just needs to take this in. So Dr. Townsend will be there. Kind of a cool thing that we're going to be doing this year on one of the evenings is we're going to do an evening with Rick and Kay Warren.
Yep.
How cool is that? They're actually, as we go to a break and we bring our dinner back, they're going to sit with us and give us a wonderful word of inspiration and encouragement. And so we'll do a dinner with Pastor Rick Warren. He's from Saddleback Church, where Celebrate Recovery is founded. And so Kay Warren will be with them. It's going to be an incredible evening with them. So we could stop right there and say, man, $49, you're going to get $49. You can get all that for that small price. But wait, This sounds like an infomercial a little bit, doesn't it?
It does, because you kind of have that voice. You could probably pull that off. But this is not what that.
That
this
might
is
get
not,
annoying if I do that.
Very true.
Our first talk for tonight.
Let's not do that.
Sorry, I had to do it at least once. So kicking things off, the opening session, we're so excited. Pastor John and Cheryl Baker, the founders of Celebrate Recovery, are going to give the opening session for kind of launching the whole summit. And we got to see some of their notes on it.
Yeah, it's great. But before you actually jump into that, tell people really quick what the summit is.
Yeah, so the summit is really just a time for encouraging participants, encouraging leaders. We're going to be equipping you, but we're also going to be nurturing to your heart and your mind, your soul. crsummits.com is a way you can register for that. We did have a beautiful graphic right about here.
Yeah, it's gone now.
But it's
though.
gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't have our, what do you call them?
Virtual background.
Virtual background. Yeah, we don't have that because
my computer died.
my wife's
but it's
computer
okay.
died, and I'm going to add it to my inventory. But yeah, if you need to be encouraged, if you had a tough time through this pandemic, and you just need to be fed, nurtured, trained even as a leader, but as a participant to be encouraged and fed, inspired, rejuvenated, recharged. I mean, add any word you want there and you're going to get it out of this for just $49. You buy 5 tickets, you get the 6th one free. You got to do it in the same time slot where you register. But how cool is that? We hear churches that are buying lump sums of tickets to the states that are opening up are going to be doing this together. So
a couple things. Let me just answer a couple
Please
things really
do,
quick
Carol.
that are coming through. So
and now this from Carol.
And so dates, July 30th and
30th
31st, which is a
31st.
Thursday and Friday. We don't have, I can't tell you the exact times right now, but it will be during the daytime. So start in the morning, in late afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
The good thing is, though, is that even if you have to work or something like that, it's going to be online for 48 hours afterwards. So you could watch it on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And so
that's a cool thing.
A really great
so
thing.
if you say, well, it's always been too expensive. Well, we took care of that. It's really a reasonable price. Well, I can't take vacation days because it's during the week. Well, it's 48 hours after the summit's over. You can still watch it, so you can watch the weekend. You don't have to take time off from work. Convenience of your own home. I mean, what more? This is easy. This is simple, and you're going to be blessed for it.
Yeah,
So.
or there are churches who are starting to open back up, and those churches are actually buying blocks of tickets to be able to watch it together. Now, we'll have to follow, your state guidelines when that actually rolls around. But that's an option if your church is able to do that. How fun would that be?
That'd
just
be
to
awesome.
go and hang out with some of your closest friends and watch it and get that inspiration together. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Megan said, we need to get some Summit socks. I like
you know
that.
what? I love that. Someone just really quickly too just made a mention about how you're going to do kind of dinner. It's actually an evening with Rick and Kay on different time zones. So just so you know, we're building some stuff into the schedules to help you just kind of navigate the different breaks and the different food times. And we're going to have some more tips coming out about that. But we are thinking about that. So thank you so much for mentioning that. Yep.
So
Great
we're going to try
question.
to we want to get some of these topics out, and then we'll try to hit some of these questions. We do have some team on here, reps and stuff to answer your questions. And we'll try to circle back around. But I want to make sure we tell you about these talks because you've been asking, what in the heck are we going to be covering at the summit? So we're going to talk about that. So as I was saying, Pastor John and Cheryl Baker, the founders of Celebrate Recovery, are going to be doing the opening. If you've ever been to a summit, the opening is just so much energy and just that hearing that good, encouraging word that God has placed on Pastor John and Cheryl's heart. So you're going to be able to hear from them. I'm excited about this talk, Carol, that Pastor Johnny Baker, is going to be talking about the difference between recovery and sobriety. And I'm so excited about that.
We hear that question a lot, right?
How do they differ? What's the difference between recovery and sobriety? And Johnny always makes that point that if sobriety is the main goal of recovery, there's something more he's trying to tell us in that. So he's going to talk about that, what he believes, why he believes that sobriety is a part of recovery, but focusing on a recovery instead of sobriety can give us so much more hope. So Johnny's going to be talking about that. What about Mac and Mary? They're going to be teaming up.
They're going to talk about just the idea of that when Jesus comes in and gives us a new life, he actually makes us better than new because he redeems and he restores and we can walk with joy. And so I'm super, super excited just about that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're gonna be talking about that. If you ever heard Mac and Mary Owen, national directors, national training coach, that's going to be an incredible talk. Sarah Stanton, you saw Roger and Sarah last night. Was that last night? Yeah, this is Monday. My days are all running together. They did a phenomenal job, and I just was watching them going, man, we get to hear from these two guys at the summit. And so Sarah is going to be talking about guarding our mental health. Is mental health, you think, a pretty big deal during this pandemic? It's pretty darn important. So our national mental health champion, Sarah Stanton's going to be talking about that, and hope and help toward wellness. As we come out of this pandemic, we need hope. We need help toward wellness. And so she gives some statistics. 1 in 5 adults will experience a mental illness in the coming year. This means you or someone that you know. And so her big focus is, let's continue to break the bondage of shame and guilt that mental health stigma brings. Let's have some real talk around anger, depression, anxiety, and yes, even domestic violence. So this session is going to bring acknowledgement, it's going to bring education and God's truth to the mental health challenges that we will face in our own lives and in our ministry. So you don't want to miss that one. What about Pastor John's big talk on the characteristics?
Yeah, he's going to be talking to us about the 6 characteristics of a great Celebrate Recovery leader. And as I was reading his description there, which by the way, we're going to have all these descriptions posted on our website at some point soon, and you'll be able to go back and look at those. But what I loved about it, as I was reading that, I was like, oh my gosh, these are just good for everybody in every level of leadership, whether it's, you know, your leadership at home as a parent, or, you know, in every situation at your job. Just such great information from Pastor John. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. So I love this one because there's a lot of you that are watching, maybe be here for the first time, that are talking about, you know, what is Celebrate Recovery? And so we want to take some time. So Pastor Johnny Baker and his sweet wife, Jenny, are going to be talking about the general topic of what is Celebrate Recovery. And how cool is that if you gave your ticket to a newcomer just to understand, maybe it's to a pastor that you're wanting to help start Celebrate Recovery, you can actually give it to them, and they're going to be talking about that. So many people, of course, as Johnny and Jenny say, are new to Celebrate Recovery, and many have questions about it. And so, you know, what is this all about? Who's it for? Why should everyone be a part of it? So they're going to actually take us through and cover the many questions that you might have, or the people close to you might have. And so how cool is that you can actually help maybe a church launch this because you brought them to the summit so they can understand what that's all about. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, here's
this is a big one.
Yeah. So codependency,
and it's gonna be good.
So codependency is something that's not just something you hear in recovery. I mean, people in general struggle with codependency. Like everyone struggles with codependency on some level, I think. And so Cheryl Baker and Jenny Baker will be doing a talk on codependency.
And one of the common questions is, what is it?
Right.
You know, we hear, oh, you're codependent. And so what is it? And how do I know if I have it, right? How do I know if I struggle with it? What does recovery look like for someone struggling with codependency, right? Those are important things. And here's the thing, with the pandemic, a lot of these things have come to the surface and we go, whoa, I've got codependency. So what I'm excited about, this was such a big topic, we're breaking it up into 2 parts during the summit because there's so much information on this that we want to cover. And so they're going to actually answer that question. You were going to point something out?
No, I was just going to say, they're not just going to be talking about what codependency is. They're going to talk about just their own personal stories about how that's just played itself out in their lives from childhood on. and give us that hope that there really is healing from codependency.
How can we find healing through Jesus Christ?
Yeah, love that.
This isn't a lifetime stamp. Well, this is your label now. You're a codependent. Just deal with it. So here's one. This kind of fits into the training category. We've been talking a little bit about the heart part. This one kind of fits into that training and equipping side, and that's what we're calling Reengage. And my Celebrate Recovery group post-COVID-19. What do I do? How do I re-engage and relaunch my ministry if we've been in this hiatus and we've been in shelter? What are some good practical things that we can do to help us be successful and have a healthy, growing Celebrate Recovery again? And so Pastor Johnny Baker, Mac Owen, and myself are actually going to tag team this one because we think it's such an important topic for you. If you're a ministry leader or a coach and you need to hear about this, we're going to spend some time giving you some very practical ideas to help you guys, because we want you to bounce back. We want you to grow. We need every church in the world to have Celebrate Recovery. And so we're not going to let a pandemic slow us down. We're going to be talking about this. How do we re-engage with Celebrate Recovery so that we can have a healthy
and that's obviously ministry. A brand new talk, right? Because we've never been in this season before.
This is new material.
Yeah, so that's going to be...
Yeah. So, Carol, you're going to be talking about something that is probably awkward for you to talk about.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Tell us what you're going to be talking about. I know this is a passion point for Carol.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to be doing a talk on sexual integrity. What God's design really is from a biblical perspective. We'll take a look at that. We'll unpack that a little bit. We'll also talk about some of those ways that Satan hijacks that. And how Jesus redeems. And so really wrapping our head around, God's original intent for our sexuality really is being able to embrace that and understand that and walk through that in a healthy way from a recovery standpoint really is what helps us to keep that long-standing recovery in sexual brokenness. And so, it's just a topic that our culture talks about a lot, but we don't so much in Christian circles. And so I'm really excited to have the opportunity just to kind of, through my own lens and my own story, just kind of talk about what God's done in my life through that.
I love we got a lot of material to cover, but I love to see that I'm going CRCR 2020. Yeah. That means you're going to the summit. And hopefully it means you've already registered. I hope you'll register tonight. Yeah. Here's a comment that I want, a great topic. Cheryl Luke, you've seen her on Facebook Live, the beautiful angelic voice with her niece and family. She's going to be talking about renewing your mind. Wow. Can I think this is such a timely topic that God's placed on her heart. Renewing your mind, the power of rewiring to engage the mind of Christ. In this pandemic, the enemy's kind of hammering us with all these lies and these things that are not of Christ that keep us discouraged and kind of in this funk, right? And she's going to be talking about how to rewire that, kind of basing that off of Romans 12, 1, 2, and those challenges, challenging us to renew our mind as that passage reads. But we have these painful experiences. We all experience loss, devastation, trauma, and they all have a profound impact on us, don't they? In our thought life, our actions, our behavior. But when we're intentional about focusing our attention on God, we begin to see change from the inside out. So she's going to talk about that. Cheryl Luke, she's an amazing speaker. I mean, people are always commenting. Every time she speaks, it's just like, I want to hear what she has to say. I could
listen to her literally for hours and hours and hours.
So tell us about Megan Greider's talking about.
Yeah, so I'm excited. If you've heard Megan talk too, she's just such a great speaker.
National Encourager Coach.
And she's very engaging, and I just love the way she presents, number one. But man, she has such a heart just for people in general. And so, she's just going to be talking about how we in recovery, how we can kind of work at that recovery in a world that's constantly changing around us, but keeping our eye on the God that never changes and keeping those spiritual truths in front of us. Yeah. And just how do we walk through that? And I love just kind of one of the things that she's going to talk about, and it's from the Serenity Prayer that says, how can we truly accept the things we cannot change and change the things we can?
Yeah,
and so
what a great topic.
Oh man, I just think it's going to be so wonderful.
I love that the Lord placed that on your heart. heart.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. So Mac Owen's going to talk about a big topic. It's one of those things that in a pandemic can kind of bring it to the surface. But forgiveness, how big is forgiveness? So Mac's going to be talking about our road to freedom through forgiveness. Our National Director, Mac Owen. So he's going to be sharing a little bit of his story and just how forgiveness really changed his path. And really learning how to accept God's forgiveness and ultimately forgiving himself, and then learning how to forgive other people, and really challenging us. What road are you on in the forgiveness road to recovery? So can't wait to hear that. We got some great things for our family ministry. You've heard Andy and Donna talking about just the family dynamics.
Yeah.
Andy's going to be doing, our national landing director is going to be talking about, which is our student ministry, giving students a better way forward. I love that. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say in that. And then Donna is going to be talking about reclaiming the promise of family. And man, what a great hopeful message that will be.
Yeah. I love just, was it last night when they talked about legacy? Roger and Cheryl talked, or Roger and Sarah talked about legacy. And so just how important Celebration Place and the landing is to changing those family patterns and how much of an impact those ministries have on our family legacy. So you don't want to miss that.
Yeah. Then I love Mary Owen, our national training coach, is going to be doing a talk by herself on Are You Ready? She says you can go to the gym, drink water, take your vitamins, but if you don't deal with the mess going on in your heart and your head, you're still going to be unhealthy. And so she's going to share her secrets that she's learning in her own recoveries, that to love others really well, and really challenging us to asking that question, what path are you going to take? So if you've heard Mary Owen, you're going to love to hear her talk about that. I'm going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's shame. And shame, how shame can really lead this unhealthy correlation to compulsive behaviors. And we all have these own coping mechanisms. So I'm going to be talking about that and really unpacking that, and how the enemy can offer these counterfeits that seem like what God can provide us, but it's completely counterfeit. And so we're going to talk about the correlation to sin and our compulsive behaviors. But what about what Sabrina's talking about?
Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I can't remember exactly when, but when Sabrina and Alan were on a live, she was talking about food issues, and man, the comments were just like...
Mac and Mary were talking
Yeah,
about
Mac and Mary were talking about it as well. And so, man, those comments just kept rolling in. And so Sabrina's going to take on that topic and talk to us about that just from her own journey. And I love the title.
Yeah.
What's eating you?
What's eating you? I love that.
And so, man, that'll just be a topic that will actually hit all of us in some way or another.
Yeah. The enemy kind of feeds us. The media feeds us with lies. And so just kind of challenging us with that. Then we're going to hear an update from the international, kind of where do we go from here. I'm excited to hear from Richard. Of course, we have CR Inside, helping prisoners and their families. We'll have a great inside testimony. I did see someone ask the question, are we going to have testimonies? Yes, we are going to have testimonies. We have an incredible family testimony that you do not want to miss.
I can't wait.
That's all I can say about that. So you want to catch that. And we have a great testimony for someone coming out of some really hard sexual brokenness in their life. And so excited about our testimony. So I won't say any more about that, but yes, we're going to have some incredible testimonies on that. What about what Roger's going to be talking about, Carol?
Yeah, so Roger Stanton, who we just talked about, Sarah, and they had did Facebook Live. So
last night.
Yes, last night. Roger's actually just going to be talking about pornography and its effects on relationships. He's just been so vulnerable on our Facebook Live, just talking about that struggle. And so those of you who have heard him know a little bit about his story. And so I'm excited to hear more of that and just more of how he has found healing and freedom from that, and just to really help us understand that impact on relationships, but how Jesus can redeem that. And so super excited.
I love that. I love that. Quentin Pitts is going to be, he's our National Welcome Home Director. It's the military wing of our ministry. And he was telling me earlier today, it's been 4 years. I can't believe it's been 4 years since we launched our Welcome Home initiative for the military veterans. So he was telling me there's some interesting things that have begun to occur recently. So he has some exciting things to share on that. They've learned some things about launching and sustaining a vital ministry for our veterans. Don't our veterans need hope too?
Oh, goodness, yes.
So he's going to be talking about that. He's going to be discussing some considerations before you launch and as you launch, and ideas to help you even after your launch. One of my favorite guys is Jeff Stoltz. He's going to be giving us some good information.
Jeff is going to be in the house.
Yeah. So Broken Chains is kind of the Celebrate Recovery in the Win. Jeff's going to be sharing with us some incredible things. He gave me an interesting stat that I think it's important just to state this. He was telling me earlier, in the U.S., over 180 people a day lose their life to drug overdose. Over 130 people a day take their own lives. Why? He asked. Because they are hopeless. But he reminds us that we have the hope in Jesus' name that we can share. Amen? So Celebrate Recovery has taught us how to plug into the freedom he came for us to have the right here on earth to share. And so Broken Chains members are kind of those human billboards, as he says often, for God's healing power. And Jeff's just leading the charge and letting the people on the outside know that hope is real. I love that. That freedom is available and change is possible. So he's going to be talking about that so that we can get them into the church and into Celebrate Recovery to experice the hope that we need. So,
and Rodney, you have actually one more thing that you're going to talk about as well.
Compassion fatigue, I think, is one of those topics that's...
well, especially now, right?
Yeah, compassion fatigue. So we're seeing and we're ministering to people, I think especially our pastors, right? But people in ministry, we give and we give and we give, and something can develop called compassion fatigue, where we just kind of get into this really bad place because we're pouring out more than we're pouring in and really taking on people's hurts. And as we come out of this pandemic, we're going to see a lot of hurts come out with that. And we need to equip ourselves as leaders. This is kind of falling into that equipping side, right? We need to equip our church leadership, our pastors. We need to equip our ministry leaders, our coaches, our step study leaders, our open share leaders, our sponsors, our sponsees, accountability partners. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that to really, how do we evaluate our own heart and maybe deal with that compassion fatigue, or preventing us from doing that. We kind of zipped through some things. I think we've missed a few things, but I don't know, what are we doing on time here? I think we're getting close on time here.
Yeah,
so
8:30.
Woo! We just zipped through a lot of information. We're also going to have some things, some live online Q&A that we're going to be doing so we can engage with you, and we'll be talking more about that. We got some
worship. We didn't mention that yet. We will definitely have worship. I've seen a few questions about that. Definitely have worship.
Yep.
So one of what I really, really love about all the topics this year at the summit is I feel like it's really speaking to a much broader audience than we've really been able to speak to before. So not only is it for, and you've mentioned this, but not only is it for leaders and for all those, and you'll get definite training and things like that, but man, it's really for anybody. And you know. Here's
the thing, even if there, so we have some equipping for leaders. That's going to be a part of the summit. Then we have some really heart nurturing to your heart, some preventative things, some general information, knowledge to help you in your church. Here's the cool thing. Whether you're here as a leader or a participant, every topic through the way every one of our speakers are going to bring their own skin to the game. They're going to bring their own heart, and you're going to be blessed, and you're going to be equipped. And I was talking to a brother today. Actually, he posted this on Facebook. My brother Domingo. I don't know if Domingo's on here tonight, but last summit, Domingo and I were walking down in between workshops, and he said, "Rodney, we really need to think about and dream about what would it be like to have an online summit one day." And I was like, "Oh, that's a real good dream, man, but I don't know, man. We'll just have to see what God does. And you know what? Here we are. And the cool thing that he was saying is, Rodney, we could reach so many more people. I see Richard Cobb on here. Richard, there's no reason why internationally, and I know we got a big amen from you, that internationally people across the world, no matter what their language, should be attending this summit, right? I mean, we have an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. And the world is experiencing hopelessness and despair, and what is everything going to fall apart? And in Celebrate Recovery, we are actually bringing the family, the forever family, together and keeping us together. And we're going to get stronger through this. And so everything that we're talking about this summit is to help us to personally get stronger, in our communities get stronger, our churches get stronger, our ministries get stronger. And if we can start doing that, can you imagine the ripple effect that we're going to see because of the number of people that invested $49 in themselves to go register for a summit? There's no reason, folks, why you should not be a part of this summit. This is a big deal, and this is not going to be something that you'll be able to do every year, right? Take advantage of this. I plead with you as a brother who's experienced, who's tasted and seen, go do this. This will be so good for you. Do this for you, and guess what it will do? It'll be for your family. It'll be for your community. It'll be for your church. crsummits.com. Just $49. Buy 5 tickets, get 1 free, guys. You can give that away to someone that you've met on the street, you've seen at Walmart, a gas station. Give it away to somebody. And they're going to be blessed, and you're going to be able to follow back up with a cup of coffee, hopefully soon, when we're able to meet together and face to face and say, what'd you learn? And how cool is that conversation going to be? And they're going to say, man, thank you for thinking of me when you were thinking of that extra ticket. If you hadn't given me that ticket, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where our church would be. I don't know where my family would be, because you thought of me and invested in me. How cool is that?
Yeah. I know we got to go, but something really cool that you just said. You were talking about helping pouring into ourselves so that we become healthy. When we are healthy and we can minister out of that overflow, that's when we're the most effective, right? Amen. And I just think about that even just from my own standpoint, and just the people that God continues to bring around me. He always brings those people around me who are struggling with things that God has been helping me walk through and become healthier in. And man, what a great opportunity just to invest in ourselves. If that's all it is, an investment in yourself, so that you're able just to pour out on people around you, whether you don't have to be part of a Celebrate Recovery ministry to do that, right?
God's going to use your hurts. He's going to use your life
I just love
to
that.
minister to other people. So how cool is that? So, hey, thanks so much. We threw a lot of information at you. By the time we're done here, it should be on our website, listed things that that can help you understand what's coming at the summit. We got some frame pictures that we're going to be putting out there where you can put on your Facebook and your Instagram.
Which we had earlier, right?
Well, that was a virtual. We had the virtual, but we have a frame where you can put your picture and have the frame that has the summit. So some fun things that Marnie, we're going to get Marnie on here one day, and we'll just sit back with a bag of Doritos and go, Marnie, share your conference wisdom. And we can ask all these...
We may not do that after we hear Sabrina's talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, if that's a trigger for you, I'm sorry. I love Doritos. And when I'm listening to something compelling like Marnie talking about the summit...
True.
She's got some fun things that we're doing around the summit. Even though it's an online summit, we're doing some fun things to interact and engage with you. So maybe you guys can help me in encouraging our conference director, Marnie Bueller, to get on here soon.
Marnie. Yes.
Anyway. Well, hey, thank you guys for bearing with us. Tomorrow night we got Sabrina and Alan bringing a word of encouragement. crsummits.com, just $49, guys. Register tonight. Let's impact the world together, all right? Share this video, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in.